Hey guys, welcome back. So today's cooking method is roasting, and we're gonna do that with a whole chicken. All right, so if you can get a whole chicken between 3 and 4 pounds, that would be perfect. Also, for the other ingredients, let's do a head of garlic, a whole lemon, half a stick of butter melted, and then salt and pepper. So first things first, go ahead and preheat your oven to 425 degrees, making sure that you have a rack that is in the center of the oven. Today's equipment, you're going to need a cutting board, a chef knife, and if you have a large cast iron skillet, that would be great. Unfortunately, my chicken does not fit in my cast iron skillet, so I am improvising with a pan that I have here that has the high sides that will catch any chicken juices. Okay, so before we start to handle that raw chicken, I wanna go ahead and cut our head of garlic and our lemon, all right? So let me show you how we're gonna do that. Okay, so for the lemon, we're actually just gonna cut it crosswise, okay? 2 halves, set that aside. Now with the head of garlic, a little closer to the top, we're also gonna cut through that crosswise or lengthwise. Okay, if it doesn't quite stay together, no worries. Okay, so we have our whole chicken. Let's talk about the anatomy of a chicken really quick, all right? So, this is the backbone, okay? We've got the wings, we've got the breasts, okay? Legs and thighs. Legs and thighs, okay? So I want you to check the cavity of the chicken, make sure there's nothing in there that will come out that's loose, all right? So the idea here, and remember, remember we've got raw chicken, so let's be super mindful of what we touch, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and just trim off a little bit of excess skin, all right, and get that kind of out of the way. All right, so your chicken needs to be on its backbone and breast facing up, all right? So really simple to prep this chicken. We're just gonna look along the legs here, and you should see a thicker line. We're gonna follow that with our knife to basically just make a 3-inch incision, okay? And if you hit that line just right, it's gonna just pull apart beautifully, okay? And that's what we want. If you're running into the flesh, you're too close on either side. All right, so just back off. Same thing on this side. Okay, 3-inch incision. Again, if you're in the right spot, it's gonna pull apart really nicely, okay? Great. All right, if you have some paper towels, I want you to go ahead and grab them, because what we need to do is dry this chicken as much as possible. If we leave a lot of moisture, then it's gonna steam more than it's gonna roast. And we need it dry to get a nice brown color, okay? All right, once you're satisfied with that, I want you to go ahead and grab your salt. So what I have done is I have moved my salt into a separate container because these hands are contaminated. So if I go and I grab the salt shaker from the cabinet and I just start sprinkling and then I put it back, no, okay? That's against the rules. So I put it in a separate container. And then whatever I don't use, I'm just gonna throw out because the salt is now contaminated. All right, so I wanna be generous with the salt. It's a very large piece of meat. So this may look excessive, but it's gonna pay off later, all right? It's probably about 3 or 4 teaspoons. Okay, so I wanna carefully go ahead and move this to the pan that I'm using, okay? So chicken is laid out, and the next thing that I wanna do is take those lemon slices and just tuck them in near, okay? And then the garlic as well. I am gonna take some of that extra papery layer off. Okay, so the idea is just tuck this garlic in nice and close. Garlic really helps with tenderizing as well as flavoring, so pretty excited about this. Okay, and last but not least, take that butter that you've melted and slowly pour it over the chicken, making sure to get every spot. Now the goal here is to start at 45 minutes, okay? Now obviously that's just a target point. This could take longer than 45 minutes due to the thickness or my oven, etc. All right, before I move this to the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and get my hands clean. Okay, so I have the chicken in the oven on the center rack, and I've started a 45-minute timer. Now, this is just a guideline, okay? This is just our starting point. After 45 minutes, we're gonna go ahead and check it. We're gonna look for some visual cues that it might be done, all right? And one of the ways we can do that with the chicken is gonna be, we're gonna look at the thigh and the leg area, kind of poke around and see what those juices are doing. If those juices run clear, we'll know that we are about there, all right? If we still see some pink, we're gonna know we need more time. And then we can just add like 5 or 10 minutes and continue to check on it, okay? Again, these are just visual cues, all right? So I'm gonna strongly encourage you that when you believe it is done or close to doneness, to go ahead and measure the internal temperature, all right? And for poultry, remember that's 165 degrees Fahrenheit, and you're gonna wanna do it in the thickest portion. All right, so I'd encourage you to go ahead and maybe clean up some of the mess that we've made while we wait for this. Okay, so I had to let mine go for about another 10 minutes, and then I checked it, and then about another 5 minutes to get it to the temperature that I needed. So what I want to do now is let it rest for about 15 minutes. So go ahead and set yourself a timer, and then after that we're going to move it to the cutting board, and then we're going to slice it so I can show you basically how to get it ready to serve and to eat. Okay, so after the chicken has rested, we're going to go ahead and start taking this baby apart. All right, so I just want to show you here. Through here, okay, is where we're gonna have the leg and then the thigh. So let's work with that. Just kind of take your time, remember your fingers. There is a joint here, so you can pull this away, nice and tender. Okay, and same thing on this side, all right? I'm just gonna use the knife to kind of get it started. Kind of going in a little bit there. Okay, if it doesn't pull away, certain spots, just grab your knife, give it a little assistance. All right. Then the wings, you can trim those off. Or pull them away. Remember to take your time, especially if you're new to this. All right, don't be afraid to ask for help. All right, and again, just a little bit above that joint, try to break it away. Wings. Okay, and then back to the breast. Right, there's gonna be a bone through here. You can kind of guesstimate where that's at. And then move your knife back and forth to find it. And then just taking your time. Little tip of the knife is all you really need in there. So just begin to guide that meat away from the breastbone, okay? We wanna take as much meat with us as possible. If it's still fairly hot to handle, just again, take your time. Okay. All right, I'm beginning to pull that breast away. Again, using the tip of the knife to create that separation. If you leave some meat behind, that's okay. All right, I'm gonna separate this here. Perfect. Okay, this breast does have a little bit of bone in it, so you can get it out now. All right, so that we're not surprising any of our dinner guests. Okay, all right, and this is a pretty decent sized breast, so you can feel free to go ahead and cut that in half. All right, a little bit more meat to go around. Okay. And then I'm going to continue again with the other side. I can kind of see a little more here. I can see better now. I can see where I need to cut away. Okay. Again, all you really need is the tip of your knife until you get to that joint if you need any help getting that off. All right, and again, a good sized breast, so I'm gonna go ahead and just cut that in half. And put that skin on the platter there. That might be someone's favorite part. All right, and then certainly whatever juices you have from that pan, you can drizzle over that for the garlic and lemon. All right, and voila. Thank you guys for joining me today. I really appreciate the time that you spent with me, and I hope that you found something useful here. All right, if you have any questions, as always, please do not hesitate to comment or send me a message, okay? Take care.